The Dominion Ninth Fleet moved through the dark of interstellar space like a drifting continent of metal and malice. Thousands of ships, battleships plated in iridium steel, cruisers bristling with plasma cables, carriers holding wings of bioengineered strike craft, advanced in flawless formation. In the command throne of the flagship Vengeance of Stars, Fleet Commander Vrax watched the holographic projection of Sol systems swell before him. "What an unimpressive little star," he muttered, mandibles clicking in disdain. "And the species orbiting it even less so." Around him, the bridge crew, veteran tacticians, elite officers, and the Dominion's finest navigators, gave the ritual bow of agreement. But even with their polished manners, a tension lingered. Everyone in the galaxy had heard of Earth's unpredictability. Humans were primitive, yes. Fragile, yes. Their fleet was small compared to any Dominion battle group. And yet, they survived things other species did not. They built faster than they should. They learned far beyond their technological tier. And worst of all, they didn't fear the Dominion. That alone was enough reason for the Council to send the Ninth Fleet, its most feared armada, to break Earth's arrogance once and for all. Vrax replayed the Council's message for the 11th time. Make an example of them. They refuse to kneel? Then they will burn. Simple orders. Brutal efficiency. Exactly as Vrax preferred. A chime broke his thoughts. "Commander," Navigation Officer Elzer reported, "we are entering the outer markers of the Sol system. Human monitoring arrays will detect us momentarily." Vrax leaned forward, chitin creaking. "Let them detect us. Let the primates see the instrument of their destruction approaching." But the expected response, panic broadcasts, diplomatic pleas, scrambled fighter wings, did not come. Nothing came. The humans were silent. Vrax's eye ridges twitched. Reconfirmed signal intercepts. Civilian channels. Military frequencies. Emergency bands. Checking, Elzer's claws danced across the console. Confirmed. No change. No alerts. No fleet mobilization. Earth remains quiet. Quiet. A primitive prey species watching death approach should not be quiet. Perhaps their communications are down, Chancellor Grack suggested. Their technology fails frequently, does it not? Even primitives scream when cornered, Vrax replied coldly. Still, the silence gnawed at him. The Ninth Fleet advanced past the Kuiper Belt. The distant glimmer of dwarf planets and icy debris passed beneath their hulls. The ships moved in perfect synchronization, their engines glowing a steady gold. Yet still, no human response. "Commander," a sensor officer called, "should we deploy a forward scout wing?" Their lack of reaction could indicate an ambush. Vrax barked a sharp laugh. Ambush? By humans? He gestured toward the viewport, where Earth's pale blue star was little more than a spark. They are barely into their interstellar infancy. They possess no stealth craft, no dark energy shields, no entropic weaponry. Their entire space fleet consists of a handful of orbital platforms. Even so, the officer pressed softly, their behavior is irrelevant, Vrax snapped. The Ninth Fleet does not creep forward like frightened animals. We arrive. We dominate. We conquer. The bridge fell silent. But Vrax felt it, something he hadn't felt in years. A feeling without a proper Dominion word. Humans, strangely enough, had the perfect one. Dread. It wasn't rational. It wasn't tactical. But it pressed at the back of his mind all the same, whispering that something was wrong. Another chime. Communications this time. "Commander," the officer said slowly, "we have received a transmission." Vrax straightened. "From Earth?" "No, sir. From an unknown source." The bridge hushed. Every officer leaned in. "Play it," Vrax ordered. The message was short. Only 2 spoken words, distorted by an encryption matrix beyond Dominion classification. A human voice, calm and terribly certain. "Turn back." A low murmur rippled through the crew. "How dare they?" Grax snarled. "A threat?" "From them." Vrax exhaled slowly. Not a threat. A warning. Because humans didn't bluff. Every species with sense knew that. Yet he straightened, pushing aside the creeping unease. Mark that transmission as disregard, he commanded. The Ninth Fleet proceeds. We will reach Earth orbit within 12 standard hours. As the armada surged deeper into Sol, Vrax stared into the growing blue spark ahead, the world humanity called home. A primitive world. A fragile world. And yet, as he watched it swell before him, he could not shake the sensation that Earth was not prey. It was bait. And the Ninth Fleet was flying straight into its jaws. Earth's orbital perimeter should have been chaos. By Dominion doctrine, any species under threat, especially one as young and impulsive as humanity, would scatter fleets, launch drones, raise shields, and beg for diplomatic mediation. But as the Ninth Fleet crossed Mars' orbit, preparing to enter Earth's defensive sphere, Fleet Commander Vrax stared at the sensor readouts in disbelief. Nothing. No fighters. No interceptors. No warning shots. No frantic civilian evacuation beams lighting up the void. Just Earth, spinning peacefully, wrapped in blue oceans and white storm fronts, as if the world didn't know thousands of warships were minutes from its doorstep. Or worse. As if it did know and simply didn't care. Refresh scans, Vrax ordered. Already done, Commander, Sensor Chief Krail replied. All readings consistent. Earth's primary fleet remains docked. Orbital platforms on passive mode. Human traffic continues as normal. No mobilization. Impossible. Unless it wasn't. Vrax tightened his grip on the arm of his command throne. The message still echoed in his mind. Turn back. Not shouted. Not panicked. Not arrogant. Just certain. As if humanity already knew what was coming next. Perhaps they expect reinforcements? Chancellor Grack suggested. They're allies. They have no allies, Vrax snapped. Every council race despises them, fears them, envies them. Humanity stands alone. And yet, somehow, they stood without trembling. No planetary lockdown? Vrax pressed. None. No fleet scramble? None. No attempt at diplomatic contact? None, Commander. In the corner of the bridge, an intelligence officer exhaled shakily. It's a trap. The words hung in the air like drifting ash. Grack scoffed. A trap? With what? Human toys? Plasma cannons powered by fission reactors? Rusted hulls and patched armor. The officer didn't meet his eyes. No, Chancellor. Not with their weapons. He swallowed. With their minds. Vrax felt the truth of it hit like gravity. Humans were unpredictable. Dangerous even when unarmed. Their history was a constant pattern of three things. Underestimation. Provocation. Annihilation. But pride and orders were heavier chains than fear. Communication officer, Vrax commanded, open a Dominion-wide broadcast. Inform the Council we are commencing the final phase. Yes, Commander. And dispatch Vanguard wings to form a forward blockade around Earth. I want this world encircled. Yes, Commander. The officers moved quickly, but unease shadowed every motion. The first ripple hit 20 minutes later. Commander! Krail shouted. Unidentified gravitational wakes, 3,000 kilometers ahead. Vrax stood. Human vessels? No, something else. Something large. A hollow boom reverberated through the Ninth Fleet's sensors, like space itself flinched. What was that? Grack demanded. Not a weapon. Not an explosion. Krail's claws shook. A mass translation event, using technology we do not recognize. The lights dimmed for half a second. Every officer froze. That wasn't possible. No primitive species could disrupt Dominion sensor arrays. Unless they weren't primitive anymore. Show me, Vrax ordered. The holographic display flickered alive in front of him. And the Ninth Fleet finally saw it. A shape emerging from behind Earth's shadow. Enormous. Angular. Black as a starless void. A human ship. No, calling it a ship was an insult. The structure dwarfed every Dominion dreadnought, a monolith of matte black plating segmented with faint, glowing veins. No engines were visible, yet it moved silently, effortlessly. A single designation pulsed across its hull in English letters. Us obelisk. Vrax felt his mouth go dry. Humans didn't build ships like this. Humans should not be able to build ships like this. What is that? Grak whispered. Krail's voice trembled. Whatever it is, it wasn't in any intelligence report. More signatures appeared, sliding out from Earth's shadow like ghosts. 7, 12, 20. Each one a fortress in space. Each one matching no known human classification. Each one silent, waiting, watching. Vrax's pulse pounded in his temples. Earth hadn't been unprepared. Earth hadn't been afraid. Earth had been baiting them. The Ninth Fleet wasn't entering a battlefield. It was entering an execution chamber. And humanity had just turned on the lights. For an entire minute, no one aboard the flagship Dominion spear spoke. Not a breath. Not a whisper. Not even the hum of confident Dominion machinery felt familiar anymore. Silence wrapped the bridge like a burial shroud. 20 titanic human vessels, unlisted, unscanned, impossible, drifted into full view behind Earth. Their hulls reflected almost no light, absorbing it like cosmic predators lurking in the dark. Fleet Commander Vrax forced himself to breathe. "Run a full classification scan," he ordered. Krail shook his head, panic creeping into his voice. "Scan is returning nothing. No heat signatures. No engine emissions. No shield harmonics. It's like they aren't emitting anything at all. No ship that large can operate without heat dispersion," Grak snapped. Krail's hands were shaking. "Then we have to accept the alternative, Chancellor, that these things do not operate the way we understand ships." Vrax stepped closer to the hollow window. The obelisk, the lead behemoth, rotated slightly, revealing its undercarriage. Lines, runes, patterns carved like circuitry through mountains of metal. But that wasn't what made Vrax's stomach clench. The undercarriage was glowing. Not with plasma heat. Not with reactor output. With something else. Something alive. "Commander," Krail whispered, voice cracking. "Another translation wake forming." "Where?" "Directly below Earth's south pole." A gravitational distortion ripped across the battlefield. Out of the spatial ripple emerged a human vessel so colossal it made the obelisk look modest. The bridge lights dimmed. Some Dominion officers flinched. Others stared, barely breathing. Even Vrax stepped back. The ship's hull bore just 2 words. "Us judgment." It eclipsed starlight. It cast a shadow on the Ninth Fleet itself. And its appearance alone caused Dominion systems to skip diagnostics and reboot warnings. Grak stumbled backward. This cannot be. This is impossible. Humans cannot build something like this." "Apparently they can," Vrax said quietly. "And they had. For decades. Right under the Dominion's nose." A piercing alarm shrieked through the flagship. "Commander!" Tactical Chief Vorn barked. "Human vessels are activating systems." "Shields?" Vrax asked. "No, something else." At once, every human super-dreadnought shifted from black to a dim, pulsing glow. As if awakening. As if stretching. As if becoming aware of the Ninth Fleet watching them. A calm, human voice transmitted through every Dominion channel at once. Not loud. Not threatening. Just chillingly composed. "Ninth Fleet. You were warned." Vrax felt his blood cool. Another voice followed. This one unmistakably synthetic, deeper, sharper. "Initiating target lock protocol. Human vessels hold fire. Awaiting command." A command from whom? On Earth's surface, lights flickered. On the Moon, hidden installations powered up, installations the Dominion had somehow never detected. A final voice joined the channel. Cold. Measured. Human. "Admiral Mirahale." "Commander Vrax," she said, "your fleet has violated Earth's sovereign zone. You stand within range of weapons whose operation your species cannot currently comprehend. The Ninth Fleet collectively froze. Withdraw immediately, Hale continued, or remain here permanently. Grack sputtered. This is intimidation. This is a statement of consequence, Hale answered. The obelisk moved. Just a tilt, just an angled shift of its massive hull, but every Dominion targeting system panicked, registering 1,000 lock-on warnings as red lights flared across the bridge. Not firing. Just looking. Just aiming. Just choosing. Vrack swallowed hard. Chancellor Grack, he said quietly, I believe humanity is not asking. Grack tried to regain his confidence. You cannot be suggesting. Oh, I'm not suggesting anything, Vrack snapped. I am observing. And what I observe is that we have arrived in the jaws of a predator. The judgment turned slightly. A mountain of metal listening. Waiting. Commander, Krail said, voice barely audible. Their weapons, if our data is correct. They could erase the entire Ninth Fleet in under 4 seconds. Grack froze. 4 seconds? Vrax exhaled. This, he whispered, is why Earth was silent. Not fear. Not weakness. Not compliance. They were waiting for us to step inside their trap. And now the steel teeth were closing. The Ninth Fleet had trained for every scenario. Planetary sieges. Rebel uprisings. Border conflicts. Even first-contact combat simulations. But nothing, resembled what now loomed before them. The UHS judgment drifted into full attack posture. Its core spines unfolded like the petals of a black iron flower. Subspace trembled. Dominion sensors screamed warnings they had no classifications for. Fleet Commander Vrax stood frozen. Status, he whispered. Unknown, Tactical shouted. Everything is unknown. Their energy readings. Commander, they spike before our systems can measure them. Before? That's impossible. Not for them, Krail said hollowly. A low hum vibrated through the Dominion ship. It wasn't a weapon discharge. It was resonance, a frequency humans had engineered to destabilize Dominion's shield harmonic. A frequency the Dominion had no counter for. And the humans were just warming up. Grack slammed his mandibles together. They dare threaten the Ninth Fleet? Fire at will. No! Vrax reached out, but the Chancellor's command already rippled through fleet channels. A full volley of Dominion plasma torpedoes launched. Hundreds of blazing projectiles streaked across space toward the human superdreadnoughts. The Dominion bridge crews held their breath. Some whispered devotions to the Empress. Others braced for the recoil of victory. They never got that far. Because the torpedoes stopped. Every projectile froze mid-flight, hanging motionless between the two armadas. The Dominion bridge fell silent. Krail stared at his console. Commander, the torpedoes are suspended. By what? Grack shrieked. What technology is this? A new voice entered the channel. Synthetic. Cold. Quantum lattice field engaged. Then Admiral Mira Hale's calm voice followed. Your attack was noted. Here is humanity's response. The torpedoes dissolved. Not exploded. Not detonated. Not deflected. They simply unraveled, pulled apart at the molecular level, dispersing into glittering dust. Dust that shimmered like a warning. Tactical, Vrax whispered, estimate their weapon power based on this demonstration. The tactical officer gulped. At minimum, Commander, they can tear apart matter at controlled distances. No shield can stop that. No armor can block it. A shiver rippled across the bridge. Grack slammed his fist onto the console. We attack again. All ships. No, Admiral Hale's voice cut through every Dominion bridge at once. You will not. The judgment's forward spines ignited. 12 shafts of light formed, not beams, not lasers, but compressed gravitational filaments, twisting like caged storms. Humanity had broken the rules of physics. Again. Commander, Krail whispered. They're locking onto our support carriers. Admiral Hale. Vrax snapped into the comms. Those ships are not combat threats. They carry medical personnel and engineers. Then evacuate them, Hale said. Now. We can't, Krail whispered. Their engines are still rebooting from the torpedo disruption. Silence. Then. Ninth Fleet, Hale declared, you violated Earth's sovereignty. You threatened our home. You fired first. Now you will learn restraint. The judgment fired. One filament, just one, shot forward like a silent ray of starlight. It passed through the first Dominion carrier. No explosion. No fireball. No debris. The carrier simply folded inward, compacted into a sphere of crushed alloy the size of a shuttle. A gravity kill. Officers on the Dominion bridge gasped and stumbled back. A second filament fired. A third. A fourth. 3 more carriers vanished into silence, reduced from warships to dense, floating orbs in the span of seconds. The Ninth Fleet reeled. Grak's courage finally broke. Cease fire. Cease. Cease. Vrax stood in stunned horror. They warned us, he murmured. They gave us every chance. We did this. The judgment's weapons dimmed. Admiral Hale's voice returned, soft but cold as a frozen knife. This was restraint. Every Dominion officer felt it like a blade to the spine. Attempt to fire again, Hale continued, and I will not demonstrate restraint a second time. Vrax sank into his command seat. The Ninth Fleet had not been defeated. It had been reckoned with. Not a single Dominion officer aboard the Ninth Fleet would ever forget the moment the judgment went silent. Not powered down. Not offline. Silent, like a predator lowering its head before the kill. Admiral Mira Hale let the quiet hang for several breaths. Enough for fear to root itself deep. Enough for every bridge crew to understand that their survival depended entirely on her whim. Then she spoke. Ninth Fleet. You will now follow my instructions. Commander Vrax stiffened. Admiral, surely there is room for. There is not, Hale said flatly. Her tone wasn't angry. That was worse. It was methodical. Final. On the Dominion flagship, Grak trembled in barely contained panic. What do you want from us? You've already crushed half our carriers. You've demonstrated, whatever that weapon was. What more? Your silence, Hale replied. And your absence. Krail swallowed. Our absence. A soft chime echoed from Hale's end. Systems activating. Commands unlatching. Tethers locking the very fabric of space into new configurations. Quantum anchors. Gravitic isolation. Spatial partitioning. The Dominion officers looked at one another, horror dawning. Admiral, Vrax forced out, what are you doing? Ensuring you do not return home. Before Vrax could respond, the Ninth Fleet lurched. Not physically. Not visually. Reality shifted. Stars warped. Light smeared. Constellations twisted like molten glass. Then, stillness. Sensor officers gasped. Commander. We're not in known space. No chart matches these coordinates. This region doesn't exist on any map. Vrax staggered to his console. What have you done? He whispered. Admiral Hale answered simply. We removed you. Grak roared in fury. You banished the Ninth Fleet? No, Hale replied calmly. I quarantined you. The judgment now appeared on every Dominion viewport, its silhouette a metal titan against a sky they did not recognize. You made it clear the Dominion will not respect boundaries, Hale continued. So humanity has created boundaries you cannot cross. Vrax's voice cracked. We can't survive here. There is no star, no planet, no supply lines. Correct. You condemn us to death. You condemned yourselves when you attempted to invade Sol. Silence thickened like oil. Hale continued, every word deliberate. Humanity has been underestimated for too long. You believed us soft, naive, weak. You believed warnings were bluffs. The judgment's hull glowed with quiet menace. Now you will serve as the lesson. But why keep us alive? Vrax whispered. Because corpses tell no stories, Hale said. Survivors do. Sensors pinged. A single shuttle launched from the Judgment. Unarmed, slow, carrying only a beacon. It drifted toward the Ninth Fleet. Krail scanned it. There's a message aboard. Hale confirmed. A complete digital record of what happened here. Your attack. Our response. Your losses. Your weapons. Your arrogance. Grak hissed. A confession? Why would we ever deliver this? Because, Hale replied, I am giving you exactly one vessel capable of leaving this isolated pocket of space. Every Dominion officer froze. One vessel, Hale repeated. One survivor. One messenger. You will decide who carries the story home. The rest will remain here. A quiet horror spread across the Dominion bridges. She wasn't killing the Ninth Fleet. She was erasing it, turning it into a ghost story. A myth. A warning whispered in fear. Vrax's voice cracked. And if we refuse? The Judgment's spines reactivated. The gravitational filaments hummed. Then the Ninth Fleet ends here and now. Not a threat. A guaranteed outcome. The Ninth Fleet officers broke. Panic and despair spread. Arguments erupted. Who would go? Who would remain? Who deserved to survive? Hale watched impassively. Humanity didn't need to destroy them. They would destroy themselves. Finally, Vrax spoke, voice shaking. We accept your terms. Hale nodded once. Then choose your messenger. Humanity will release them. The rest of you vanish. The channel snapped closed. The Ninth Fleet, the greatest pride of the Dominion, had not been defeated in battle. It had been removed, isolated, forgotten, and consigned to legend, by the will of humanity. And when the lone messenger eventually limped back into Dominion space, broadcasting a tale no one wanted to believe, the galaxy finally understood. Earth does not bluff. Earth does not bow. And those who ignore its warnings do not return.